Good morning. Today is the 19th of April 2024 and I'm going to go through my trading levels for today. Before we start, let's look at the news for today, and there's not much apart from a Fed speaking at 10:30, so just be wary of that. And it's got oil at 1. Okay, so it's Friday, last day of the week. We had Israel's reaction over the evening, and we saw the market sell off a little bit, and has potentially put a bit of a negative on the market. Let's get my pen working. We were sitting around here yesterday. We closed at around 50.50, I think it was 50.39, and then obviously we sold off, and we kind of given back that dip in the pre-market. So the levels I'm really looking for is a kind of, I am currently short right now. I took a short in the pre-market around here, and actually off of this area here of resistance and coming into that 50 moving average. I'm kind of watching this trend line as well on the hourly, and if we kind of come up to that area, I'll be looking for a rejection around about 50-60 area, but the better rejection area will be around 50-80, 50-90, 50-87 area, which is lows of the last few days, and then yesterday's high. We kind of had a few reactions there, so I'm watching. That's the area I'm watching, 50-80 for a rejection, 50-90 that area, and I'm watching the trend line, which will be around 50-60, and obviously I'm in a pre-market short at the moment, and that's it. I can't really see any bounces. Maybe we can watch for a double bottom down here, 49.63. Let's see if there's anything looking left. No, nothing really. At 49, that double bottom, it's not a high, it's like, I would say it's a high risk bounce because there's no real levels around that area. So we can watch 40.63 for a bounce. We could watch if it sells off and doesn't quite put in a double bottom but a higher low. Maybe we watch someone do that. And that's it. That's it really. I'm going to try and take it easy today. And I can't find. If we do rally and we get up to the 5100, 5140 area, we can watch for a rejection underneath this area. We've got an area of confluence, which I'll just draw in about there. And what's that? 5169, so 5174 rejection, and that's a long way off. Probably won't, that's not for today, I don't think. So to recap, I'm watching. Oh God, it's a big. So I'm watching for a rejection off of yesterday's high, and that's around 50.90. I'm looking for rejection of this trend line around 50.60, and I'm looking for a higher risk bounce around 49.63 to 49.80. That's really the only levels I'm watching today. SPX, we're probably below or around about the 5,000 mark, so if we open up quite close to that, I was watching for a bounce yesterday, and you can see the bounce came close there, came down and touched it. So I do like the first touch of it only. So we'll see where we open. We can watch it for another bounce back up, or we can look for a break and retest short. SPY, same levels at ES really. We can watch 503 to 504 for a rejection. This area here, bottoms of candles, tops of candles. That's probably the only rejection I like. Maybe we can watch somewhere on the trend line. Let's just draw in the fibs to see where we could be. Okay, we're well below it. Let's just put in 618. Okay, so the 618 is kind of a little bit above the pre-market high. So this area along that off that trend line could be a rejection on the 618, on the fib 618. And that's it really. High risk bounce as well at 495, but like I said, we're not looking left. Okay, that looks a bit better than ES actually, so that's got an area confluence, so that's a slightly better bounce area. 495 bounce, we'll watch that area. NQ, kind of back up in this area again. Yesterday's high rejection, 17,730, 17,700 for rejection. Let's look left and see where yesterday's bounce was. Okay, not brilliant. There's a few tops of candles and a few bottoms. Yeah, I don't really like it that much for a double bottom. Rejection wise, let's just draw the trend line in as well, so it matches everything else. You can see that trend line. So we come back up into pre-market high, yesterday's high, we can look for a rejection off of there, or we can watch for a rejection up here. If we do break the trend, we can watch for a break, retest long, that goes for ES and SPY as well. Looking at Qs, I'll draw the same trend line in, so it's all very similar. If I clone it, what's that look like? Kind of. The clone's not too good. Qs, 430 rejection, between 429 to 430 up in this area. Or 433, 432 rejection, that area there, and bounce. Looking left again. There's no real areas on the left apart from where we are right now. So I don't really like the bounce. It'll be a high risk bounce if we do get down there for a double bottom. SPX we talked about. Gold. Coming into the 200, we can watch for a bounce off of pre-market low, long. If we get down to this area here, let's just put an alert in. So I've got an alert ready, so if we come in, I might look for a bounce. Kind of still in an uptrend, going sideways. Looking at volume, looks like a bit of absorption up here. So either one of two things, it's a reaccumulation, so accumulation, move up, accumulation, move up, or it's a distribution, which we can then draw the trend lines in there. Probably there. Yeah, I don't really see any great bounces down here. I do quite like the bounce off the pre-market low to continue the trend up. Kind of broken out for this box and rejected. So potentially, and we're in the upper half of this area as well. You can draw a trend line down through the middle as well. So we probably could be looking for the breakout. Nothing really for me unless we break out of 24.13 or we come down to 23.52 for a bounce. But we can also watch 23.85 for a bounce as well. Oil, now this looks good. I quite like the bounce over 81.82. Big sell off. If we break below pre-market low, we can look for the break and retest into this area here. $80 is the next target down. Or if we pull back, kind of got this area here of resistance. $84 resistance. You can probably watch this entire area. but I'm looking for the most touches there. So look for tops, bottoms, bottoms. 84.36 reject. Obviously we've got the 20 moving average starting to curve over now, but I quite like the bounce down here. We go into the daily, kind of just a pullback on the daily. Put the trend lines in. Kind of broken it. If we can hold this trend line, we can look for the long. Next is RTY, still in this big downtrend. We can watch for the rejection of the trend line, pre-market high, bounce down. So into that trend line, which is the pre-market high area. We've got area of resistance, kind of along there. And we can watch for the rejection, and that level is around 1967 off the trend line. If we break the trend line, we can look for a break and retest long with a target of yesterday's high. But yesterday's high is a good rejection area as well. Lots of touches of the trend line there. And that's it really. We can watch for a bounce, double bottom. Kind of not a bad area for a bounce actually. 1926, 1920. We've got this supply zone. I mean this demand zone. Let's draw a bit more accurately. Look at that, came in, touched it. So maybe second touch, not quite as effective second time out. We can watch that area for a bounce, 1920. That's it really. We can watch for reject if we get up to yesterday's high as well. And that is at 1982. YM lastly. Didn't like to draw the trend lines in. You can argue that little micro trend's broken. Rejection at yesterday's high off of the 200 moving average. Lots of touches, tops, 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 and bottoms. There's this area here. Watch for rejection. That's at 38,300. Where's that bottom? Not a big fan of the double bottom because there's nothing really there. The only place I can see on the daily is that 36,800 area. As I look on the hourly, 36,800. Way down here, yeah, not even near yet. I don't like any bounces, still only like the rejections at the moment, so kind of reject off the trend line or yesterday's high. Bitcoin, it's doing what Bitcoin does still, kind of trying to break down. Obviously yesterday's news has brought it back up. Looks like money's coming out of the stock market and going into alternatives like maybe Bitcoin, bonds. Yep, still quite like the bounce at 50,000 is a round psychological number, and 40,000. And we're kind of coming into this rejection area off of this pivot now as well, so potentially could watch it continue to move down. One to watch, and that's it I think. Quickly look at ES before we go. We've got a quarter of an hour before the market opens. Yep, I'm still in short. I'm just checking my position. Yeah, I'm still short at the moment. I've been short from up here. My target is that trend line bounce. just recap the levels again. I quite like the rejection down at yesterday's high area. That's the area of confluence. You can see we watched it yesterday, came into it, touched it. I was short there yesterday, had a small move down. Did get triggered out by that little pivot there, and then had serious FOMO as I watched it go down all day. But it wasn't too bad. I did get a bottom scalp in another level. I took 5 trades I think yesterday, and all of them was my levels. Bounce here, rejection up here, bounce down here, and a couple of little stops when I was trying to find that top. Decent day. Today's looking to be a decent day as well. That's it. So just recap my levels. We're looking for 50, 80, 50, 90 rejection. Looking for a bounce, high risk bounce down at 49.62, 49.70. And I'm looking for potentially a rejection of this trend line as well, which would be around about 50.60. And obviously, if we break the trend line, we can watch for a pattern set up, break and retest long. Break, retest, long. But we've got this area here I'm watching for a rejection anyway, so I don't really like longs, I prefer rejections at the moment. And that's it. Okay, thank you for watching. Up next will be the live stream for order flow. And I know I show you, but it looks a bit like this. I don't have my mic turned on, so I couldn't really explain it, but I show order flow and it shows cumulative delta, divergence as well. So quite an important thing I watch. And you can see some big levels as well, so where there is a bit like bookmap. Right, thank you for watching, and I will be back Monday 9 AM Eastern time.